This is a Thor News presentation. Thor News presents...
Ladies and gentlemen, hot off the presses, Kepler, the planet-finding machine, has found a new Earth. Wait, let me rephrase that. Pro-Sci has found a non-Earth Earth, or a Earth-sized planet in the habitable zone, or the Goldilocks zone. This porridge is just right, baby. You may be saying, why is this important? We'll get to that in 5 to 10 seconds. That's right. Kepler has found the first Earth-sized exoplanet in a habitable zone. Over at the university today, Jason Major writes, "It's truly a eureka moment for Kepler scientists. The first rocky Earth-sized world has been found in a star's habitable Goldilocks zone, the narrow belt where liquid water could readily exist on a planet's surface without freezing solid or boiling away. And while it's much too soon to tell if this really is a twin Earth, we can now be fairly confident that they do in fact exist." Well, I saw all the steps leading up to it. I saw the shoes they were wearing. I drew pictures of the shoes they were wearing. What I'm trying to say in a really awkward way is that I knew they were going to find a new Earth. I mean, they found 715 planets. You think one of those has got to be kind of in the same zone as Earth, right? Well, I was right. And I'm guessing, unofficially here, I think I'll guess officially official soon, that we will find signs of life in our universe before 2015 ends. That's right. Okay. The newly confirmed extrasolar planet has been dubbed Kepler 186f. It is the fifth and outermost planet discovered orbiting the red dwarf star Kepler 186. It is 490 light years away. That means if you were a beam of light, it would take you 490 years to get there. Which may sound like a long time, but I don't think beams of light depreciate like in skin and stuff. You know, I don't think that they're not born babies and then they die old beams of light. I don't know what happens to light, man. You'll have to ask science. Anyway, but it's way too far away for anybody really to care about, other than us astronomy geeks. And it is interesting that it was orbiting a red dwarf star. I just get all fascinated by the star main sequencing sequence. Crap. Kepler completes one orbit around its star every 130 days and is just within the outer edge of the system's habitable zone. The findings were made public today, April 17th, during a teleconference hosted by NASA. When they actually figured this out, I have no idea. This is the first definitive Earth-sized planet found in the habitable zone around another star, says lead author Elisa Quintana of the SETI Institute at NASA's Ames Research Center. Finding such planets is the primary goal of the Kepler Space Telescope because we're going to crap out Earth in a few years, so we got to find a place to replace it. Now, if we can just get the space folding down, then we'll have all our problems solved. I made up that last part, trying to be funny, and it didn't work. Now everybody's mad. I'm sorry. Forgive me. The star is a main sequence M dwarf, a very common type. More than 70% of the hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy are M dwarfs, which is why they named them dwarfs, right? Because dwarfs are like the most common thing in society, right? Right. I don't know, man. Unlike our sun, which is a G-type yellow dwarf, the M dwarf stars, aka red dwarfs, are much smaller and dimmer. As a result, their habitable zone are much more confined. But being cooler stars, hey, M dwarfs have long lifespans, offering planets in their habitable zone, like Kepler 186f, potentially plenty of time to develop favorable conditions for life. M dwarfs are the most numerous stars. In addition, M dwarfs are the most abundant stars in our galaxy. 7 out of 10 stars in the Milky Way are M dwarfs, although most can't be seen with the naked eye. Finding an Earth-sized planet orbiting one relatively nearby has enormous implications in the hunt for extraterrestrial life. I just told you. We just took another step forward for them to be like, hey, we found aliens, and they're friendly, and they want to buy our Earth bonds. Some people call these habitable planets, which of course we have no idea if they are, said Stephen Citizen Kane, an assistant professor of physics and astronomy at San Francisco State University in Cal. We simply know that they are in the habitable zone, and that's the best place to start looking for habitable planets. Wow. Man, to think I just learned that without having to take your course, dude. That is awesome, Mr. Kane. Professor Kane. Since it's a littler sun, I wonder if it's a littler world and they're all littler people. Then, the dwarf name would be appropriate. And I would apologize publicly on my YouTube channel for making fun of the name Dwarf Planet for so long. But if they had far superior technology, they could still kick our ass. So stay vigilant, people. Dwarf aliens. They're possible. Hey, we know it's probably older than a few billion years old. Yeah, because science can carbon date stuff with a telescope. It's really cool. I'd explain it, but that would be boring. And you would click off my video, and my purpose would be sullied. But after all, it's very difficult to tell. That's the problem with M dwarfs, as opposed to G suns like ours, which we know everything, right? Mr. Barclay of Universe Today. Mr. Barclay of the Barry Ames Center. The exoplanet was discovered via the crossed-out transit method. Huh? Because of its small size, just slightly over one Earth radius, and in close proximity to its star, Kepler cannot be observed properly with the technology we know about. However, what we can do is eliminate essentially all other possibilities so that the validity of these planets is really the only viable option. Hey dude, sounds good to me. So Kepler 186f joins the other 20 extrasolar worlds currently listed in the Habitable Exoplanet Catalog, maintained by the Planetary Habitability Laboratory at the University of Puerto Rico at Arecibo. To date, 961 exoplanets have been confirmed through Kepler observations, with 1,696 total confirmed altogether. That's a lot of planets, man. It means my chance of finding a girlfriend just went way up. I'm so glad I'm bad at math. Whether Kepler 186f actually resembles Earth or not, this discovery provides more information on the incredible variety of planetary systems to be found even in our little corner of the galaxy. The diversity of these exoplanets is one of the most exciting things about the field, Kane said. We're trying to understand how common our solar system is, and the more diversity we see, the more it helps us to understand what the answer to that question really is. Phil Plait noted over at the Slate in his Bad Astronomy, an astronomical discovery, Earth-size planet found in its star's habitable zone. If you click on that, it'll embiggen it, and I don't know what that is. It sounds like a joke between him and his wife, which makes me feel uncomfortable. I have some cautiously exciting exoplanet news, and Thor News is passing on that exciting exoplanet news without the caution. We found aliens! Asterisk. Astronomers have announced the discovery of a planet that is very near the same size as Earth and orbiting its star in the habitable zone. That is, at the right distance from its star to have liquid water on its surface. We don't know how Earth-like it is. Does it have $200 trillion in debt? Does every person on the planet hate each other even if they've never met? Have they created tons of weapons to destroy the planet itself? You know, are they using dinosaur blood to power their cars? Do they have jetpacks? No, time-space continuum just screwed me up. You see, Kepler exploits what is called the transit method. It stares at 150,000 stars all the time and doesn't go crazy. It looks for dips in the amounts of light received from every star. The idea is that if a star has planets, and if we see the orbits edge on, then every time the planet passes between us and its parent star, it'll block an teensy. Is that some code, Phil? Or maybe your editor just missed it, because it's like block and teensy. And I think and comes before like a vowel. If that's secret code, I'm trying to figure out, but I can't. Okay. It'll block and teensy bit of light, usually far less than 1%. Ooh, 1%er joke. You saying we're all ants? Man. This method is extremely powerful. About 1,000 planets have been found this way in Kepler data ! In fact, it wasn't even just an exclamation point. It was bolded and exclamation pointed. Yeah, we found 1,000 planets. I think that's fascinating. You guys do not? That's probably my least watched video in the last 2 months. Like, wow, yay, we found 715 planets. People are like, who cares? Is he going to kill us? Like, no, probably not. I'm like, yeah, got no interest. Another cool thing is that if you know how big the star is, and generally we do, yeah, I know, you know, you guys know almost everything. You can also determine the size of the planet by how much light it blocks. Okay, as a Dungeons and Dragons geek, what if that planet is a gelatinous cube, right? You might be able to see through it, and it's still a gelatinous cube planet, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, You know, science is about asking a tough question. Pseudoscience is about asking a dumb question. Sometimes you get answers, though. You know, Kepler 186f is one of the big success stories. It's part of a mini solar planet system with 5 planets. I just chopped up all of his words. It's orbiting a red dwarf, a smaller, cooler star than our sun. The other 4 planets are all very roughly Earth-sized, but orbit closer to the star. But even though the star is cooler than the sun, these planets are close enough to it to be pretty hot, but not too hot that you spend your whole relationship just being jealous and every guy you know hits on her. And even your best friends are willing to throw you under the bus just to cuddle with her or whatever. Man, what? Anyway, yeah, it could have water, and it wouldn't boil it off. It's in a place where liquid water can easily exist on the surface of a planet. We know of several dozen planets like that in the galaxy so far. What makes 186f special is that its size is about 1.1 times the size of Earth. Together, these make it potentially the most Earth-like planet we've found yet. The best potential to find life. I said potentially because, honestly, we don't know all that much about it besides its size and distance from its star. Because it was a little dot that crossed in front of a little prick light of light. I believe that's the... They need to know the mass, and I'm sure they'll tell us soon. What the atmosphere is like, I'm sure they'll tell us soon. Still, our models of how planets form are getting better. And we're getting a handle on how they behave. And according to what we know, it's most likely that Kepler 186f is a rocky planet like Earth with a similar surface gravity. That in turn implies it could have water. But again, we don't know. And anything beyond this is speculation. Awesome. There are a lot of factors in making a planet habitable. As a random one, it may take a magnetic field to make a planet livable. I agree. Or a magic field. Or a divine field. Or a poetry field. No, that wouldn't protect anybody. Ours protects us from the constant stream of subatomic particles the sun emits, which over several billion years would have eroded away Earth's atmosphere. And that may be what happened to Mars. To be fair, I'll note that there is one planet found before that's roughly the size of Earth. This is still exciting news, because after all, one of the main mission objectives of Kepler was to do just this, find an Earth-sized planet in the star's habitable zone. So my congratulations to the team of astronomers involved. It's very nice indeed to see a spacecraft achieve its goal. And there are still lots and lots and lots of data to go through from Kepler. There could easily be many, many more such worlds hidden in the blips of starlight Kepler has returned to Earth. And then Thor News will be totally right in his prediction that we will announce we've found some type of life far away before 2015 ends. We're pretty sure there are billions and billions and billions and billions of Earth-sized planets in the galaxy. We now know of 4 that are in the star's habitable zone, if you include Venus and the other planet I mentioned. And we also know that some worlds are outside the strict definition of the HZ and yet still have liquid water. For example, Jupiter's moon Europa, which in 2010 we were told not to mess with. And you don't want to mess with those monoliths, man. Those things are tough. And Saturn's moon Enceladus. Hey, I just did a video on Saturn. We've only just started looking. Who knows what else is out there? Aliens. New planet discovered that just my whole life. See, dude? We're getting closer to the announcement that they found life. This is so cool. Awesome. Well, that's fascinating. So if you want to watch, well, hey, if you made it this far and you haven't watched the video I just put out on Saturn, we cover the life in the water-ish. And we cover life in the alien water topic there. And then if you want to go back to the video I did about the 715 new planets, I thought it was pretty good. Not many people watched it. But if you change your mind, like, hey, I got an extra few minutes or so, I'll give it a try. I'll put the links down. Thanks for watching and enjoying and all that jazz. And all that jazz! Woo! Interesting times, party people. Heck yeah. Can I name a planet?